Okay, is everybody good to go? All right. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to play around with Twitter. If you're not familiar with Twitter, you're going to add a specific person, you send a message, and then everybody can read that message. And we're going to actually talk about the Twitter API. So we're going to touch on it. And then we're going to use a Python library called Flask. It's a web framework. And then we're going to scrape all of the stuff we did before and pass them through a library called Markovify. We're going to talk about what that means in a bit. Okay? So just like last time, we're going to use glitch. A lot of the stuff is already set up. And we're going to use the Markovify library, okay? And then we'll debug it, okay? So, so there's a chain. Okay, so first of all, we're going to explain what a Markov chain is. So when you're developing a model, what it's going to do is try to predict what the next values are in a given data set, okay? So whenever you're going to be doing AI stuff, you build what's called a model. And that is a mathematical way to predict future values. It can be as simple as this, where we're just looking at something very simple, where is the sun shining? So in this Markov chain, there are two states. It can either be sunny or it can be cloudy. There is no in between. It's off or on. The sun is visible or it's not. Okay? Now, we're going to make a model and say, well, is tomorrow going to be sunny or cloudy? Okay? So if you look at the last weather reports, and this is the pattern you always see, you can make a chain where there's two states, cloudy and sunny, and over the period of 8 days, we saw the results of 4 days of cloud, and then 1 day of sun, 4 more days of cloud, 1 day of sun. So if we put this into a thing and it says, I saw a cloudy value for 4 times in a row, and then a sunny value for 4 times in a row, then after any sunny value, I should be able to see 3 cloudy values, okay? Does that make sense, kind of what we're doing here, okay? So the chances of it being cloudy after a sunny day are very, very high, okay? And I got ahead of myself a little bit, okay? So real weather is a lot more difficult. There's partly cloudy, you've got rainy, you got sleet, you got hail, you've got Portland where it's all 3 at the same time, and we can put all those values into a chain and kind of say, hey, these are all of the data sets that we have. What can you tell us about the future? Okay. And if you want to go into their docs, it's actually kind of interesting. There's a lot there. We're just scratching the surface, don't worry. But this Markov library is specifically to take a large body of text, or one of the very good uses of it is to take a large body of text and predict what the next set of values are. So if we take a lot of tweets and we see an initial state and we see the chances of another set of text values coming up very often after a specific value, we are now going to look at what an AI algorithm is looking like, okay? Because if it sees right after, hey, a hello, 25% of the time, we are now playing around with AI, okay? Does that make sense? Oops. Okay, so it's as simple as adding the import statement at the top of it. It's going to do those calculations just like we were talking about. But while it's not perfect, it makes our our bot just a little bit smarter. So we've been working on these little bitty things to make it just a little bit better all the time, okay? If you do have problems, just remember you can do it. I'm right here. We're here to help. We can also use some of the different features in Glitch. If you make a mistake, we can always roll it back. Okay? So if you remember last time, regular expressions is to use to narrow down what we were looking at. So we were looking for the emojis and HTTPs in order to weed those out. We're also going to use import statements. So the new one is going to be there. Oh, so before we start coding, go ahead and go to Glitch. If you remember your login, you can, or you can go directly to here. Make sure you click on the remix your own. Don't wait for this middle part to finish loading before you click remix your own. Okay? It's going to take a bit. Okay, has everybody got a loading screen now? Okay. Okay, so on the left side, you're going to see the little key environment variable. We want to put this stuff in there. Okay? Since you were specifically asking about the API stuff, take a good look at this. We're going to actually play around with that. So we're actually using the Glitch framework for now for API, but we are going to switch this over to the Twitter API. So it'll clean up a little bit. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and look at some of the things. Right now we're going to be working with the Twitter API. We'll look into that, and then the markov.py, which is the actual library we're going to be looking at. Okay. So open the markov.py. Anybody take a gander of what we're missing right here? Import, yes. Excellent. So put that in there. And then you're going to need to write some stuff onto here. Okay? So let's go ahead and start with that. Okay? Make sure you double check your spelling, because I ran into that problem. Okay, so let's take this line by line. This should be, so we're going to start with this basic function. Delete the word pass. We don't want the word pass. Okay? So now we're going to look at the user underscore question, and we're going to split on every space. So each of those words are going to be appended to the word list, or it's going to create the word list. Okay? We're then going to pick one of those words, and it's now a random word. Okay? We're then going to save that to make a sentence with that word to start it out with. And with that random word, we're going to construct the rest of the sentence, and that's going to be a bot answer. And that's what's going to be returned. Okay? Okay. Does everybody understand what they just did? Okay. So If you look in the right-hand corner, you've got the sunglasses that says show. If you click on it, you can send messages back. And don't panic. It is going to say, I don't understand. What's going on? Does anybody have a gander of what we have done so that it didn't do it? Okay. What was the one of the first things I had? We went and did code, and we did something. What was the very first thing we did? We deleted a line that was there. It said pass. It said, don't pay attention to anything that's happening here. Now we implemented the code that says, hey, we're doing this thing, and we deleted that. Okay. So let's go back in there, and line 20, and just an indicator. So remember, it'd be like in a C language, you do a cout statement or a print statement and say, hey, is this line of code being reached? Okay, so this is one of those basic debugging tools where it says, hey, let me know. Did you make it here? Okay. Now, this is one of those things that I would like to stress, is the use of the logs, okay? When you're doing production stuff, you don't always have just the console to work on. You have logs. You go into the logs and you can take a look at what's going on. So in the bottom left corner, click on Tools, and where we used to do the click on Console, we're going to just click on Logs. Click Clear, or there's going to be a whole lot of stuff. And run your app again and see what happens. Okay. Okay, so in order to fix that, we need to actually call on that. So go into markov.py, and in line 9, we need to use what we just did, okay? So which of these things are we looking at? Are we going to get raw text as a string? Well, we might, but it's a whole lot of strings. Are we going to build the model? Well, we're just putting something in at random. Print find randomly generated sentences. Well, that sounds interesting, because we do want randomly generated sentences. What about print 3 randomly generated sentences of no more than 140 characters? Well, that might work too. We're going to just build the model first, though. Okay? We need the chain to be created. We need the computer to understand the state of beings that it's about to incorporate into the tweeted answers. Okay? So we're going to use this in order to actually build that. All right? So where we're doing this, we're going to go ahead and generate those answers. So we're using the clean tweets that we did before. We're going to then join everything on the space. And then we're going to call that text function that we saw for the third option. Okay? And that creates that model. It's a statistical probability of what it assumes from one word to the next should be. Okay? It's then going to generate an answer. and then return it. Okay. Does everybody understand what we're doing here? Okay. Okay, so let's try it again. You should still see your logs, and you should still see this. You try to run it, and the statement still didn't print. Okay? So we do need to go to main.py and to actually print all of this stuff out. We want to make sure that everything is working. Okay? So first thing we need to do is we need to import all of those functions with an import statement. Kind of like how we did with this Twitter scraper fetcher. Okay. Let's scroll down to line 25, where you see the generate bot answer. We're going to add these two. So we actually get we're going to try to get something from a bot answer. Okay. Now let's go to the markov.py. We're almost there. We need to add this part to what we just did. Okay. Is your guys working it? Is it working? Maybe?
It's just, like, hanging a bit. So I'm not
It's
gonna
hanging a
respond.
bit.
But it seems like there's an error actually, so
Oh, what's the error say?
not sure.
Let's take a look at
Just
that.
kind of stands there. Like with that error. Oh,
Yeah, click on line 17. Markov.py, line 17. Yeah, that needs to not be there. It's going to also have a problem with that indentation. Okay. All right, see if that works.
Let's try this out. Try it.
Scroll down to the bottom and see if it's... try a different handle.
Clinton.
Well, no, I doubt they're gonna be. Try NASA. I know that one's. Huh.
I don't get the print statements. Do I? Because I have that print part right here.
Uh huh.
So let me put one the other one in here just to see if anyone gets there. Should I be like logging into something on here to like see the log?
No, it should just run.
Okay. Let's try NASA. Hey.
Huh.
Yeah.
Let's try. So there is one more thing we're gonna do. We'll see if that fixes it. Because it's not getting an error, which is weird. But let's try it. Okay. All right. Try going here and say fetch instead of get user tweets.
Line 33 of
Markov.py. So this is where we're going to switch to a Twitter API, okay? Okay. Is that working now?
No, but I'm gonna revisit the code because I might have
Okay.
messed up somewhere or something.
Okay.
Because this should be binary and where it equals random choice word by answer equals next thing should start anywhere. Return by answer. After printing this, I don't really know. Generate.
Hold on. Go look at your line 19.
Line 19?
Look at that. Well, the line 19 on that says where it says generate bot answer with text
Yeah.
model.
Yeah.
If bot answer equals none.
Is equal to none?
Or yeah. No. Yeah. It says look at here.
Oh, this is like the previous one because we add that in down here just to make
Okay.
sure like we get something even if nothing's
Oh,
generated.
okay. I gotcha. I was more looking at that. Is that no? Strict equals false. Why is that not working? Right.
So here I do Markov input everything. Try by answer equals generate by answer. Create a question. There's questions there. Twitter handles there. Moderate by answer. Moderate answer equals moderate by answer. Yeah. So, if I were to print out answer, try that out with NASA, actually refresh it. Try that with NASA, say hey. And then, no. Let me make sure my environment's right.
Okay.
That could be it too. First, we'll just check that. So, HTTPS localhost dash python dash abstraction
And that looks right to me.
Is it working for you? Is it working for you?
What?
Taking forever to load for me.
I wonder if, because this has happened to me before, I
Mhm.
wonder if this is, I wonder if it's just in demand right now, because I don't have a better answer
Yeah.
than sometimes it just doesn't work.
Do you like that?
Yeah.
So for the print statement though, I'm just curious as to why that isn't working either. Where if I go to like my main py
Mm-hmm.
and I like literally generate a message to like print, hey, I'm here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I were to like run that next to the code. And like I at NASA, hey, nothing even pops up in the logs.
Are you in the,
I'm in the, oh,
you are in the log,
Just
not the
kidding, I
console?
found-
Okay. Oh, yeah.
it's in the debugger.
Okay. Yes.
So, interesting. Okay, so if this gets processed, wait, I'm pretty sure this is old. Oh wait, no, it's right here. So I know this works for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I know this part up here works for
Yeah.
sure. So what I want to do is I want to print my bot answer,
Well, yeah, you've already got that line in there.
and then I want to print something to see before bot answer.
Okay.
And then I want to do refresh that. Go to NASA. Say, hey, hello. So before bot answer, and then error code.
So, that's interesting.
So in here, I'm gonna try it before Markov. And here I want to see if there's actually that should be good. Let's retype actually. Refresh that. And nice.
That's a good point.
So it gets here. Oh wait, it doesn't even get. So
It does get to answer, or after.
it gets past here
Yeah.
for sure. Inside gen bot ans. And then I'm guessing it'll probably be with the text model, so it's before TM. I want to see after TM, I guess.
Okay.
Refresh that.
How is yours going?
I think about the same. Like, it doesn't seem to be calling this for some reason.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know why it's not.
Line 8, Markov.
Because it should be. As Bart would say, computers are hard.
Call them fry sauce.
Fry sauce. Oh, so it doesn't even get my word list. Right?
Oh, you need to have the right syntax. Oh, you got. Oh, okay, that is what you meant. I'm sorry. Never mind. Yeah.
Maybe like, hello, I have multiple words. I answer inside random word. So random, not choice, is messing me up. Do I import
All
random?
right. Yeah. Try that.
That's a hello. That's a
That's the problem.
cool.
So, is it markov.py?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't import random.
In markov.py, you need to import random.
Nice.
Got it? You just do print statements, and then over here you go to tools, logs.
I see that. Okay, so you just print it somehow.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh wait, would you say fry sauce? That means they're either gonna choose fry or sauce. And they chose fry. They couldn't find anything with that. But if I were to type like astronaut, then I would type to food, planet, astronaut. They chose planet, and they put planet Mercury pass. I understand.
Did you modify other stuff?
I don't think so.
Oh, make sure you scroll up. Do you import Markov? Okay, from Markov, import everything.
Import everything?
Yeah, just spot.
From Markov import that.
Inside
Spell
me.
that right, yeah.
So that
I
means
already
they're-
did that.
Yeah.
All right, where is it now?
Import spot.
Or, wait, import spot or import Markov? From Markov import spot?
From Markov, import spot. Yeah.
Go.
And
See,
So
go.
it doesn't even
do you-
print this.
Yeah.
Something's wrong with.
No, it prints that
so,
right there.
Prints that, but it doesn't print.
Yeah. So between calling this and calling that, it doesn't do that.
Yeah.
I have two generic
Hmm. Yep. Calls that. So we get there in the try block. Something barfs here. And then it gives us the exception.
yes.
Is this all
Why
correct?
is that?
I
Yeah.
realize it's like predictive, kind of. So like you have to give it like a lot of words. So like if you give
Yeah.
it, so it's like planet, astronaut.
Yeah.
And then it would like, understand it better.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of the
Kinda
model
makes
we
sense.
built. Yeah.
Yeah.
So remember how you had a bunch of cloudy days and a lot of sunny days? The bigger the database that it uses to build the model,
Yeah.
the better it's going to be. And if you can give it a couple of words, you can make it even better. Do the thing. Do the thing. Let's see here. I wonder if we can.
Mhm.